Allan is a thought leader on innovation and also on process excellence. Now, Allan is the Executive Director of Hargraves Institute and also the Director of Managed Innovation International. He's a practitioner of innovation and he works closely with over 200 companies in Australia to help them in their innovation processes. Let's welcome Allan into our studios today. What brings you here?
Thank you very much. I'm here because of the Year of Innovation, and I was invited to present at a conference, and I'm actually ecstatic to be here because I haven't been into Malaysia on business for a very long time.
Right. And you talked about innovation. Tell us a little bit of your innovation journey or your leadership journey and how you got to this point of teaching folks on innovation.
I'm a believer that innovation is about leadership. It's about people.
Yep.
I started my career in the automotive industry, making products, selling them to car companies, improving. And then I moved and researched companies to what made companies successful. And it's not the process that makes companies successful, it's the people.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about that. I mean, how you say that people makes companies successful and innovative, right?
Yes.
How do they do that?
Well, there's two types of people. There are leaders, and then there are the people, obviously, who do the work. Leaders have to empower their people because there's only one leader, but there's many staff. So if you're a staff member, which is the majority, you have to be empowered, you have to take the leap, you have to change, you have to have the ability to do stuff. Now, people can give you permission to do stuff. However, it's far better if you can actually develop it yourself internally. Also recognise something. Everybody's not perfect. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. Therefore, one person can't do everything. So the most important thing about innovation is teamwork. And if you're not confident, if you're not a salesman, but you're a great thinker, or if you're a great planner, then work with a team. Find people who are, so that your small team becomes successful, because you can't be the best at everything.
You work for, or you've helped founded this Hargraves Institute, right?
Yes.
What's that and what do you guys do?
I had a conversation with one of Australia's leading innovative companies, and a very forward-thinking manager said, how do good people learn? How do good companies learn? We've read the books, we go to the conferences, we've gone to university, we've done all that. How do we learn? And so I took that problem away and thought and said to myself, the only way you can learn is by having a conversation with somebody that's smarter than you. Sit in a room with somebody from another good company and have a chat, have a conversation, because then you'll learn what they're doing today. So I came up with the idea of Hargraves. It's 60 of Australia's largest companies, and they get together and talk. And my recommendation to people, my recommendation to future leaders, is the most important thing is not to know the answer. The most important thing is to know the question, go out and find somebody and have a conversation with them, and the answers will come. You will not get it from a book. You will not, but I'll highlight that and I'll be clear, is that you still have to have done your homework and you have to have done the book reading, and so you've got to be pretty smart to start with, but you will learn more from talking to people, talking to good people. My personal motto in life is I want to work with good people and I want to help them, because if I work with good people and I help them, then they'll help me. And that's how I'm successful. You talked a little bit about, in a very simplistic way, how innovation happens, but many companies, there's numerous challenges to drive innovation across the organization, and you've worked in more than 200 companies. What are some of these challenges and how do you overcome these challenges of really sustainable innovation in an organization? Sustainable innovation, continuous innovation is the biggest challenge, and companies can't do it, or we haven't got experience of companies doing it for 10 or 20 or 30 years. And therefore it's a continuous problem. An organisation is made up of lots of people, not little people, I apologise. An organisation is made up of people. It's what those people do every day. So, here are the 3 facts of innovation. Fact number 1, all innovation starts with an idea. Where do ideas come from? In this world, there's only one place that an idea comes from, and that's inside a human's head. You get an idea in your brain. So an individual gets an idea. If that individual works in an organisation, the very next step is that they have to tell somebody about it. And so communication with a team. Once you've done that, so it's individual first, team second. Once you've done that, once you've talked about it with the team thinks it's a good idea, you've got to get organisational resources. Once you get your organisation, you can actually make something happen. So it goes individual, team, organisation. So successful companies have great teamwork. they have great individuals, and they have great systems, and they work independently. And so if you, as a future leader, or if someone who is ambitious, you want to work with great people in a team, and you want to understand your organisation. However, counteracting that is organisations survive because they make money every day. They survive because they do the same thing every day. They survive because they don't spend all their time changing, they do the same thing. So you also have to recognise that organisations can't change all the time. Therefore you have to balance the two, being innovative and creative and being a good manager at the same time. And that's what I call pragmatic, and that's what I call a corporate innovator, because sometimes it's better not to have a good idea. Sometimes it's better not to change because you're making good, so it's a balance.
Okay. It's interesting that, when you talk about the tensions in corporations, I mean, especially the ones that many organizations don't want to change. They like the status quo. They prefer it to be this way. I mean, and we've seen that with numerous industries where a guy who may be the market leader, after a couple of years, tailgates and just disappears.
Correct.
And part of it, has always been the fact that they knew about the innovation, they had it, but they just didn't want to embrace it. How do you get organizations to change mindsets almost?
It's very difficult when an organisation is successful, they're making lots of money, and they know that someone else is going to take them over later, but right now it's wonderful. Yep. And people in that organisation got promoted because of the success of the old product, and you want to make change. Right. The problem is people have to realise, and it's hard, I know it's hard, that if someone tells you to change, you're upset. Yep. If you decide yourself to change, it's good, it's okay. And so we have to really, it's a tough gig, it is something that you just can't take for granted, it is hard work. And companies will keep going out of business. People will still having problems. It's just you've got to make sure that you're on the better side of the ledger thing. Don't assume it's easy. Don't assume just because you've got a good idea everyone's going to listen to you. Don't assume that the best will win. Don't assume that. The only way to win in innovation is hard work.
So it's going to be hard work.